all the little ones, the big ones too, Orlando and Josh, the ones that you guys see with the film choreography. And my sister, Isabel, who's out there somewhere doing YouTube. So like, subscribe, and share, please. So we'll put it up on the mob, but it's Bitten Peaches, and it's really easy to find us on YouTube. So go follow us on YouTube. We only have like 100 followers, and like 1,300 of us in the mob. So let's get that number up. Same thing with Instagram. I've been putting up more stuff on Instagram, like excerpts from the books, which it's been really fun trying to find really good excerpts to put into Instagram. So go follow us on Instagram. We're at Bitten Peaches on Instagram. You can find us. Just look for the page that has all the excerpts from the books. Dolly, so we've been getting more art from Mona Finden, and so Dolly has been hard at work creating more stuff for the ZAZZLE store. So go there. I think Davina's request for the dive t-shirt is being worked on, so you'll see it. You'll probably see a version of that. So you're gonna see some dive t-shirts, some other stuff that might be a little bit more obscure, but it's gonna be up on the ZAZZLE store. So go follow us on the ZAZZLE store and go get some swag. I've been trying to get a Bitten Peaches shirt. It's hard, these designers, I mean, excuse me. So to get a Bitten Peaches hat has been kind of hard to do these days. Hello, George, welcome, good morning. Oh, that's good that you're working from home, Darren, excellent. Oh, you haven't slept, Brian. Well, I hope you can make it through this Mob TV hour awake, hopefully. Can you send Mary dot, yeah, she needs a link to get to the Mob TV. Morning, Chris Mendoza. Good morning, Davina. Your shirt request, I think, is being worked on. I don't know. I don't think I saw a design. So yes, Cynthia, this is almost a peach. I should call this Peaches size. Just Peaches Peaches XL size. It's almost Peaches XL size, Cynthia. Good morning, Laura. Welcome. Still waiting for your books, Laura. So once they send it to me, it gets to you. So these things happen. They take time. Good morning, Dolly.
Good morning, Orlando.
Stacy says that ZAZZLE has a sale, so that'd be awesome. Yes, Jenny, let's start mobbing people to get over to the Instagram page and to the YouTube channel, because I know Chris has told me that it takes a long time. It's a marathon. But if we have 1,300 people in the mob, we can definitely get more followers for both our YouTube channel and for the Instagram page. So let's do that. And I'm being current with putting up stuff on the Instagram page, different excerpts, so things like that. Sunatra, yes, Cynthia, so we'll just, I don't know what you mean, but okay, sure. Jenny is a savage. Finally, Mary Dot, welcome. Welcome, Mary Dot. Good morning. Let's see who else is here. Alicia's here. Good morning, Alicia. Yeah, Marie says, I love your son's videos. Which one is Orlando? Which one, and who is the oldest? Orlando is the oldest of those two. Orlando's the one with the full beard. Joshua's the one who's trying to work on his beard. So Orlando's the oldest. He's the choreographer, and in the martial arts, in the style that he's actually one rank higher than Josh. He's a Nidan, which is second degree. Joshua's a Shodan, which is first degree. So, and he's the one that's really into the fight choreography, and he's the one that kind of puts the fight scenes together. And then Joshua gives a lot of input because they're both very good at it. So there you go. Welcome, John. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. All right, so let's see. Oh yeah, on the mob, Dolly recently put up a link, I guess a little post that has the links to Amazon, ZAZZLE, Instagram, YouTube. It's all on Mob Docs. So if you look on the side, if I remember correctly, there's this little post that says all links, or in the document section. So look there and you'll see that all the links to everything that we have, like our ZAZZLE store, the Amazon store, the Amazon, all the books are, Instagram, YouTube, they're all there. So please click there and, you know, follow us and get your, don't forget to get your swag. Oh, and don't forget to leave a review. I know we haven't had the review post in a while, but don't forget to leave a review for Blood Betrayal. Blood Betrayal is the most recent one out. And so don't forget to leave a review for Blood Betrayal. trail because I know it gets lost and there's a lot of things happening. Life happens. Yes, Jenny, you're gonna have to get an Instagram account. Go do that. Even I haven't posted much on Instagram recently because the last time I posted, I think I had just gotten over being sick or I was sick on my personal Instagram, and I put up a picture that was just plain scary. So I think I have to start putting stuff on my own personal Instagram too. Alicia, I agree. She says those videos are fun. The videos are fun. I told him to make them really short, 10, 20 seconds, because that's what's, I mean, that's not that that's the attention span of people now, but that's kind of like what gets a lot of attention from people. So quick 10, 20-second videos, kind of build a body of work, and then start working on creating start longer stuff. So I told him to look at Dust, which is this great sci-fi channel on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, go look at Dust. There's some great stories. Stories on Dust range from 15, 20 minutes, but they have serious budgets, some of them. They look like Hollywood type movies, some of them. So I told him to work his way up to 20-minute films, 30-minute films, and start creating longer films. He's getting his equipment ready and things like that. I'm going to be executive producer on, I get executive producer credits on all his stuff, just because I made him, period. Let's see. Good morning, TJ. Good morning, Craig. El Dragon. Good morning. So let's see. Awesome, Brian. Thank you for subscribing and following everything. Oh, so what is shred? So Brian wants to know what a shred is. A shred is what happens when I give the book to the art group. So art means advanced reader team. So it's the advanced reader team group, I guess. So what they shred is what they take the finished book, the first rough draft, and they shred it. Meaning they take it apart, they find any kind of errors, mostly commas, and what they do is basically a really, really, really rough, deep edit. And then I go over that, I hand it to an editor, and then it gets released. So the shred is a really essential part because it's really the mob, the people who are in the art, but they're from the mob. If you're not in the mob, you can't be in the art. And they kind of look at the book first, after I look at it, obviously. But they kind of look at the book first, kind of give me their insight. Some have shred like almost every book. So you don't have to shred every book. It's voluntary. And I always say life happens, and sometimes you can, and sometimes you can't. You usually have about a week to, 4 or 5 days, depending on the length of the book. And so that's what a shred is, Brian. I hope that helps you. Davina says, I don't have a real job anymore. That's right, you were leaving a job, Davina. I hope the transition has been easy. And no longer have to try and homeschool my son as the holidays have started. Oh, that's going to be fun for you. So the shred is coming next week. It's in the list of things to talk about. But the shred is coming really soon, TM. Davina can answer. Yeah, shred is proofreading, checking for typos, commas, more commas. I have an aversion to commas. It's an issue that I've refused to get treated. So Malcolm says shredding means adding commas. Basically, it's adding commas. Basically, I'm not even trying to deny that. So apparently, commas do not register in my brain. So if you want to be part of the shred, just in general for anyone, let me know, either send me a PM or let me know in the mob, and I'll add you to the art. It's basically, you get the book, you get to kind of read it, go through it, and then add your notes. Some people shred the book and they actually go through the entire book. Some people just answer the questions, and I believe they're like 15 questions. It's what you can do. I understand right now, especially, that there's a lot going on, so don't feel like you're obligated to shred and do every single thing. And many times, there's some really fast readers in the mob and some really fast shredders. And so you might the book, you might read it, and by the time you're ready to shred, whatever you wanted to say has already been mentioned. So we also have a group of supernatural readers that read so quick that they start shredding. It's like they read the whole book in an hour, and then they ask, where's the next book? I just finished this one. And then they start shredding. So it's at your speed. And sometimes I have 2 phases for the shredding. I have the shredding when I have a lot of time to give you. I have shredding for the super fast readers, and I have shredding for the rest of us mortals. And so that's usually about 2 weeks, but this time it'll probably be a week before I have to hand it off. So there you go. That's what shredding is. Jenny says, I have heard horror stories about roving comma gangs. If there's a roving comma gang, it's led by Davina. That's all I have to say. Chris, you know what it is? Yes, and I agree, Chris. Chris says I have a comma get out of jail free card. It's that sometimes, Dolly has even told me, sometimes I'm writing so fast. You know, you get into this kind of strange brain state where I'm just writing so quick, and commas are like the victims, the they get just left by the wayside when I'm writing. So in my head there's a comma, but when I write it, it never makes it from my head to my fingers to the actual page. So the poor commas are just, victims of, speed. So that's what it is sometimes. Let's see. Malcolm says, I thought you were going to say, if you want to shred, learn about commas. No, you'll see where the commas go. I mean, I think there's a big controversy over regular commas and the Oxford comma, but I think we agree that we use the Oxford comma here, but we don't use the Shatner comma, which is really more the Shatner period. Really more the Shatner period. Anyway. Yes, Craig. I knew that one was coming. I knew that one. Craig said they wrote a song about me called Comma Chameleon. Thanks, Craig. Thank you for that. I'm guessing that's Dragon approved. Yeah, Alicia. I mean, there are some. So Alicia says there are several members who are so fast they put all my comments in before me. There are some readers literally. They get the art, they get the book, and about an hour later they tell me the book was great. I loved it. I'm like, I just you just got the book. Yeah, I read it already. In about an hour's time. They just read really, 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 really fast. And so those are the ones who are ahead of everyone because they read fast and then they go back, and as they reread, they start putting in comments into the reader links. So shout out to John Logsdon for reader links, because without reader links, those of you who shred way in the back, remember how we used to do this through Facebook, and that was a nightmare. So yeah. Yeah, Jenny, it's, how do I explain it? Jenny says stream of consciousness writing. It's close. When I write Monty and Strong, they are so loud in my head, and especially in the dialogue and the things that are happening, that's almost transcribing. It's really just, I'm just writing. There's not much thought. I mean, I give thought to the story and what's happening. But then when when it's actually occurring and I'm writing, it's really me just listening to what's happening. And so I'm just writing quick. I feel like a court stenographer at times. That's really what it feels like. Yeah, the words have to get out now. Yeah. Audrey, that's a good policy. Audrey says, I try to stay out of Davina's commas way. She is supernatural. Yeah, she's really good. She is the tower of commas. So she's out there with the commas. Audrey says, it would help having some more people going through with an eye for picky punctuation. People do the super fast read, but they don't find issues. Same reason the mistakes get made in the first place, working too fast. This is very true, Davina. I am guilty of writing too fast sometimes. Yes. And sometimes I forget apostrophes because apostrophes, Stacy, are related to commas. So that's why. And he says we don't use the Oxford comma. And that's not even a question, it's just a statement. I do, it's read fast, Malcolm, but it really is absorbed. So yeah, like right now I have, I'll get to that later, but yeah. Good morning, Joy, welcome. So let's continue on what was our topics for discussion. Let's see. Oh, okay. Dark glass, what we're talking about. So it's, how do I say this? It's nearing the end, and it's not as bad as Michigo's story, but there are definitely going to be some threads that continue to the next book, which is called Walking the Razor. It's not cliffhanging, but it's not a serious cliffhanger. But it's definitely going to be like, oh, there's more stuff coming that we're going to have to deal with in the next story. Awesome. But it's going to leave you in a way like, yeah, that's that. Yeah, we really got to address, because the way the next, okay, what is it? Walking the Razor, Requiem, Divine Intervention, Stormblood, Revenant. Blood Lessons, and Broken Man. Wow, for the next one, two, at least for the next 6 books, it's gonna feel like one long connected story, not with cliffhangers per se, but almost like episodes of a larger story. So not so bad as the Rule of the Council, which is cliffhanger, like it leaves you like, oh, but more like, okay, this needs to continue. Let's see what else happens. So that's gonna happen for the next few Monty and Strong books. But I was leading you there. So a lot of stuff that you've read up until book 11, which is this is where it starts, you're gonna start seeing callbacks to stuff from book 1, book 2, that was planted over time. I'm devious that way. And so you'll see that, whoa, this way back, then in the beginning of the series, it's going to come back, which is a lot of fun to do. Nightmarish to make sure it's done right, but it's a lot of fun to do. So this book is almost ended because this weekend is probably the last weekend, and I'm going to try and submit it for the art on Monday, latest Tuesday. I'm kind of looking at trying to get Monday. And then I'm looking at like the fact that there's things that are still left unresolved. So it's gonna have to be next book. The good thing is that the next book comes out soon, TM. All right, so after that, Blood Rule. As soon as I give you guys the art for Dark Glass, I start doing Blood Rule and finishing Michigo's trilogy. So that cliffhanger that you guys have all been hanging on like this will be done, and that'll be done. It shouldn't take long because Blood Rule won't be that long, and that should be done by the end of the month. And then after that, jump back into Grey World, which is the Night Warden series, and that book is Nocturne Melody, and that will be, I don't know, I don't have a date for that really because it's a novel, so it's going to take a while, and I kind of have to read Shadow Strut, but it's going to be a lot of fun getting back into Gray's world. And like I've always said, jumping into Gray's part of the Monty and Strong world is a little different because he's a darker character. He's a lot of fun. He's a bit cynical. He's a bit grouchy, irascible. I guess the word would be perfect for him. And he has to deal with a sentient sword that has a bloodlust. So that's always fun. And Coda, who's smart mouthed and wants to kind of strike out on her own. And other influences. So it'll be interesting because I'm going to be finishing Blood Rule. Gray appears in Blood Rule, and then he also appears in, well, obviously, he appears in Nocturne Melody. So I'll see if I can tie off Blood Rule and have that kind of go into Nocturne Melody, at least his appearance in it. Let's see what else everyone's saying. I have to kind of intersperse what my announcements with what you guys are saying. So Jenny says, stream of multiple personalities writing. Yes, basically, Jenny. Davina says, I've had to ask my son's teacher which punctuation rules they're learning. He's only 6. I don't want to confuse him. Yeah, that's a good question. That's actually a good point, because if you teach him one thing and he's learning something else, he will get confused, Davina. Diane says, honestly, there are times comments get added where I don't think they need it, so it's not necessarily a beat. It's often about preferences. You can often find authority both for and against a particular usage. This is very true, Diane. And I reserve the right to veto any suggestion because that's, I have that right. But usually I defer to what makes sense, and usually I'll read it in my head with the comma, without the comma, and sometimes I'll add the comma, sometimes I won't. It depends. And I do that with every suggestion. So I always let people know before they shred, your suggestion is always welcome, but that doesn't always mean that it's going to get put into the book. So thank you for your time, and thank you for shredding, but sometimes it needs to be a certain way because I'm trying to convey something later on. So it may not sound correct in the moment, but it fits into the greater picture of the story. Let's see. Malcolm says apostrophes are called floating commas. That's so true. An apostrophe is a comma filled with helium and author's tears. Yes, great. Tommy, good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome. Let's see. A serial type story. Yeah, Jenny, it's called, let me see if I remember what it's called. If you guys ever read, it's a great series called Repairman Jack. And, geez, can you look up who Repairman Jack was written by, Dolly? Repairman Jack, wow, it's such a great story. I mean, and it's a lot about, I don't know if I've told this story before. It was F. Paul Wilson wrote Repairman Jack, the series. I enjoyed this series so much that I was at that point I was just getting the books from the library because they were hard to find in stores. I think the or whatever the case was, or they were reissuing them. So a lot of stores like Barnes and Noble didn't have them. So I was hunting these books on the library. I was scouring Queens libraries for the next book, and I think they're like 16. How many books are in the series? 16 books. There's a bunch of books in the series. And he has this idea called a river novel, which is basically one novel leads into the other novel, leads into the other novel, leads into the other novel. So it's not so much a cliffhanger, it's that each novel is very connected to the next. So it's kind of that way, Jenny. So it's almost like a series type story, but not as much. 17. So Repairman Jack has 17 books. I'll put the link up as an L3 in the mob because I think it's worth you guys reading. It's really good. It's really well written. Yes, that Craig. Craig says not cliffhangers, hill huggers. That's perfect. I'm stealing that, Craig. I don't write cliffhangers. I write hill huggers. That's excellent. So a hook, not a cliffhanger. Exactly, Alicia. So these are hill huggers, not cliffhangers. Exactly. Perfect. Thank you, Craig. Can be hard, especially in longer sentences. Sometimes I just mean a momentary pause in speech. True, Joy. Yes, sometimes it's just a momentary pause. As long as it's not a Shatner pause. Yeah, Malcolm, it's hard to beat Davina. I'm just letting you know. This is from the inception. This is not just now. This is always, she's always been that fast. Okay, so the floaty one. That's what Ayrton calls them, floaty commas. Perfect. I'm just allergic to them. I've accepted this. I hope everyone who is doing art has accepted them too. Yeah, Joy, I was wondering about that because commandant. Like, are we using very military type designations now? Jenny says Gray reminds me of the grumpy old farmer archetype. Yeah, pretty much. He's like the one like get off my land before I shoot you kind of attitude. Except that his land is basically the dive and New York City because he's the last Night Warden, which we're going to soon discover is not totally true, but he's the last active one. And he has to train Coda, who's not exactly trainable. So what does Chris say? Chris says we all see things differently. This is very true. A written comma is permission to be talking. I like that idea, Craig. That's an interesting idea. Diane, that's a good one. The author is King and Emperor. Who was it that I was watching a masterclass with Neil Gaiman. He says the author is God, and it's very true. In his world, the author is God. Just kind of have to step out of the way and let the characters do what they need to do. Yes. So yeah, that's interesting. Yep, that's why I tend to read the sentence and put the comma wherever I naturally pause for breath. That makes a lot of sense. I'll see if I can do that mentally. Don, welcome. Good morning / afternoon / evening, which is, someone asked me what does MAE stand for? Morning, afternoon, evening. So it's a good May. How's that? All right, next thing. All right, so Walking the Razor, which is Monty Strong number 12, is scheduled for later this year. But I'm going to see if I could push it in earlier because of the way Dark Glass is going to end, okay? But I will do a cover reveal in not this coming Thursday, not next week Thursday, the following week Thursday. Because next week Thursday, I think I'm getting some awesome art from Mona. So you guys saw the Monty, Simon, and Pete happy image of them, right? They're like the peace sign, and Monty has the lightning strike coming out of the fingers. There's another piece that Mona's working on that's them in action phase, like ready to jump into action. That one is going to be shown, I think, this Thursday. But the following Thursday, I'll reveal the cover for Walking the Razor, which is going to be, it's an awesome looking cover, but I can't reveal it until 2 Thursdays from now. Let's see. A game organizing director. Yes, I like that. I am a game organizing director, which is basically the acronym for God. Okay, so Chris asked the question that all the Sepia fans are wondering about. Right after Nocturne Melody, which is the next Night Warden book, which is what's being written next, is Sepia coming. Sepia is the next book after Nocturne Melody. So basically what I have to do now is I have Shadow Strut, I have Nameless here, Nameless Nightmare. I have to read it again, basically, just to get my head back into the sepia space. But in Dark Glass, as kind of a preparation, there's a little, and this is a spoiler, but there's a little bit of a visit to Sepia's world. I won't say any more than that in Dark Glass. So it's a lot of fun. Okay, so the Assassin's Apprentice is later. We have to go over the whole schedule, Dolly and I, because things that got shifted because of the corona and everything. But we have to go over that. Gideon is next year, I think. I'm gonna be hitting that really hard because I really want to start finishing series. So at least 3 books and then 3 books and so forth and so on. And Blackjack is the same thing. So Blackjack left off, geez, where did Blackjack leave off? Dread Warlock? Mm-hmm. So there's 2 more, there's actually 6 Blackjack books. 4, 5, and 6 will be later next year. 2 and 3 will be kind of in the beginning. So there you go, Craig. I hope that helps. I can't give you hard dates yet because I have to go over the schedule with Dolly. So who kind of keeps everything organized. Not kind of, she keeps everything organized. She has a pretty awesome Excel sheet. On a complete tangent, are any box sets being considered? Chris says, yes. I'm going to do a box set for for the Rulers of Council. Let's see, Monty Strong, 9, 10, 11, 10. Not yet. Monty Strong, after Walking the Razor, will create another box set for 10, 11, 12. So every 3 books, there's going to be a box set. So if you ever see the 3rd book of anything coming out, it's the box set follows shortly after that. So that's kind of the indicator for box sets. If you see the 3rd of anything, or in sequences of 3, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, when the next book is about to come out, so let's say we're up to book 7, 4, 5, 6 will be released. If we're up to book 10, 7, 8, 9 will be released. So that's how the box sets work. That's what Dolly just said. There you go. Dolly is beyond great. She keeps everything running smoothly. Oh, not the tiny box sets. Complete runs of closed sets. Well, wow. We don't have any closed sets, really. I mean, aside from Spiritual Warriors, which is there is a box set of all 5 books. And I think when Sepia will be done, there'll be a box set for the 5 books also. Just because it's this the way it works. Yeah. But for Monty and Strong, I'd have to do ongoing box sets because it doesn't end. Same thing with, I guess we can do a box set for a 10-book box set. That would be quite an undertaking. But yeah, I guess we could do that. 10 books, a decology. And another trilogy, and a trilogy for Gray after Nocturne Melody is done. We could do a box set of those 3. And the Rule of Ascension box will be done also. Yeah, Davina, no one told the virus I didn't have time to get sick. Clearly, the virus did not get the memo. Right, a treasure chest, like Dolly said, a treasure chest of 10 books for Monty Strong, like they have for Harry Potter, right? So something like that, I think would be pretty interesting to create. I'd have to, because I'm going to have to upload books 1, 2, I don't know, quite a few of the books into a different program, and then put them all together as one large book, separated. So instead of it just separated by chapters, it would be separated by books, and then upload all of that. So that would be fun. Be a lot of work, but it would be fun. Time soon, but that would be awesome to have a map of the city that's redecorated or visited by Monty and Strong. Yeah. I totally agree, Craig. Craig says it makes it easier for gifting and trapping new readers. Yeah, definitely gifting. for sure, and trapping for sure. Oh, awesome. So Dolly, Chris is saying you need to talk offline about locations. He's got an idea. Fantastic. All right, what else do I have? Oh, for those of you that like Carrie, there are a few of us that are gamers. Ghost of Tsushima, which is a samurai game that's if you follow games, it's very much like Sekiro came out I think last year. Ghost of Tsushima came out, it was live today, and it looks phenomenal. So you don't play the game and you just watch it. It's like watching in one of those old samurai movies, except with color. But they have a filter where you can watch it in black and white. It's known as the Kurosawa filter. So the old black and white samurai movies, the game can be played in a black and white filter, and it looks like one of these old samurai movies. So that's today. Ghost of Tsushima is coming out today. Also, if you're a Jim Butcher fan, Peace Talks is out. It came out the 14th. I had pre-ordered it, so I already have it on my device. And I haven't really started reading it because I know that once I started the first page and I was like, oh, I'm gonna jump into it. So I know once I start, it's gonna go crazy. I'm just gonna be focused on that, and I've got a book to write. So, but Peace Talks is out, and in September, Battleground is the next one that's coming out. So basically, these two books were one book that the publisher had to cut in half because it was just so long. So yes, it took 5 years. In 1 year, in the span of a few months, getting two large books. So it's worth it. I mean, I'd rather have that than waiting indefinitely for something that doesn't come, like the George R. Martin thing that's happening. So we'll see. I'll let you know how Peace Talks is. Let's see. Let's see what else everybody's saying. Okay. Peace Talks. Yeah. Oh, okay. So by now, hopefully you've all seen Warrior Nun. I liked it and didn't at the same time. It could have been so much better, but I think the writing is what made it suffer. It's great. It was what do we kind of call that? Like just fluff, and it was like a fluff series. Warrior Nun.
We had so many threats.
Yeah, we ultimately were like towards the end. It was like, oh my god, really? But for what it is, if you don't expect high-end cinema, excellent writing, um, really, Hollywood type kind of movie going, it's really good. If you just want a Netflix thing to like, burn through, although it's long because each episode's like 40 something minutes, and there's like 10 episodes. Yeah, it's long. You may not make it to the end, put it that way. But it was really good. And the fight scenes, I can tell you, the fight scenes were phenomenal. And if only for the fight scenes, it was worth it. Character development, could have been better. And the writing, the script, it's like Dolly and I were discussing it. It was like they were having these pitch meetings, and every writer had an idea and put it in, and then the writer would go off and had a dentist appointment, so that stuff would get lost. So whoever suggested JC and his crew had an appointment, and JC and the crew just disappeared, and someone else came in and said, hey, how about we do this? And everything was added. So it's a little schizophrenic kind of writing, which can work if done correctly. Now, welcome, Robert. For the old guard, Dolly hasn't seen it today, so I don't want to spoil it. It's good. I'm a little partial to Immortals, obviously, if you read my wrong, and their problems. But old guard is done well. You have Charlize Theron, so like the Extraction movie, you have some star power. And you have Tweetle Elafor, I believe his name. I don't know if I'm mangling his name, who is also a good antagonist in that movie, in the old guard. And so you have star power, so I can definitely see a part 2 of the old guard coming in. So that one was really well done. Really well done. Let's see. Jenny says, reading your comments again. Jenny says, my mom and I are going on a book shopping spree, waiting till then to buy Peace Talks. Yeah, there's no rush. Just get it when you can. I can't tell you if it's good or not. I know Jim wrote it, so it should be good, but we'll see. Stacey says, Davina, Steve says Davina was a little disappointed. Well, we'll see. I haven't read it, so I've heard a lot of people weren't that, what's the word? Weren't that pleased with peace talks. I think what happens, and this is something that I'm trying to be careful of, is that if you stop for 5 years, even though you have an idea and you don't write for 5 years, it's like a muscle, like going to the gym. You kind of lose the thread of the story. And so you have to really, and I think that's why Jim Butcher was going to the cons and everything, kind of to stay immersed in that world, but it's still not the same as writing. So we'll see. I'll read Peace Talks and I'll let you know how it goes. Good morning, Robert. Chris says, any chance of getting a Monty Instructive Agency shirt or hat? You don't need to be, that's not, I'm not the one you need to ask that. You need to be asking that to Dolly. She's working on all that stuff. She handles the ZAZZLE store and swag. Especially if you need a Monty and Strong skateboard deck, you should get one. Let's see. Aiken is watching cartoons, so he keeps commenting things like, it's turned into a submarine. I'm trying to make, it's making justice. That's funny to have those comments just come out of nowhere. Good morning, Matthew. Welcome. Or afternoon or evening, wherever you are. Yeah, I agree, Stacey. An Old Guard Part 2 would be great. I'm not going to spoil it by saying what happens in Old Guard, but I think that would be an excellent. I would write one. They should call me. I would definitely. I would tell Dolly, this is what needed to happen, and then I would give her a whole treatment on how they needed to write a certain episode. So wouldn't be hard. I could definitely do it. Good morning, Leanne. Welcome. Yeah, we were talking about hats, as Dolly is saying. We were talking about, we have the T-shirts. We were talking about caps and hats because I don't think we have that many. I think we have the Iron Rhino, which has nothing to do with Monty Strong. And it's pink, which looks ridiculous. And we have golf caps, I think there are. Like they're like open. So I'm guessing they're golf caps, Ben Peaches and Monty Strong golf caps. So Dolly will be working on caps for Monty Strong.
Well, the golf caps are really made for the girls.
Oh, the golf caps are for the girls. Excuse me. So you can put your hair through? Is that what the whole thing? Yeah. Do I have that? Do I seem to have that? No. I don't have that problem. Yeah. Okay, so Chris, the hats that you saw me wearing were from a whole different company before we really blew up with the ZAZZLE store. And those are, you can't find those anymore. We have to order them from, there's another company called Queensboro, and they're awesome embroidered stuff. So, but they take a really long time now because of what's happening with the virus. So, but yeah, we do have some, but they're not on the ZAZZLE store. We're working on getting them on the ZAZZLE store. And once they are, Dolly will put a post up and let everyone know in the mob that they're in the ZAZZLE store. Good morning, Leanne. Welcome. Oh, that's great. Stacey says she's ordering masks today or tomorrow. Awesome. Please order your mask. Please go out and wear masks. Go out with masks. Just no matter what anyone is saying, keep yourself safe and keep those in your circles safe, please. Go out and wear a mask. Old Guard, as Mary Dot says, is definitely set up for a sequel. Yes, completely. So that's what I've been trying to do with the Monty Strong, with especially like a Dark Glass. You know that part ended, but there are definitely threads to continue. So it's not really a cliffhanger, like you're okay that it ended this way. You want to see what comes next, but you're not left with like, oh, we're in the middle of action, what happened? Unlike the Rule of Council, which is like, whoa, what, really, Orlando, really? You left me like this? So it's a different kind of sensation. It's a hill hugger, not a hill hugger. Bina said she'd like a cap, the kind with the curved brim, not the straight one. Those are the distressed caps. Yeah. That have those. Yeah, Davina, we'll work on getting you a cap. And Dolly's already working on the dive T-shirts. So, Audrey wants to know. So, have you ever written fan fiction? Wow, that's a good question. No, I've never written fan fiction. That's to my knowledge. Have I written fan fiction? No, I've never written fan fiction. Funny you would ask though. I do have a fan fiction story in my head, but I haven't told anyone about it yet. But when I do, I'm going to make that one just for the mob. So you'll see it. I'll put it under. Oh yeah, well no, that's not fan fiction. The spam and pistol. That's not fan fiction. It's a fan. If you ever read Pistol Zerlock and Spam that I've written with John, those are like really micro stories. Really funny. Pistol Zerlock and Spam McCanister, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. They're really short stories. I haven't done one. I'm pretty sure John hasn't either because we both have schedules. But we got together and wrote a series of tiny little stories of these two characters, one from the past and one from the future, meeting in the present. They're both kind of detectives. One's a detective from, or police officers. One's a police officer from the future, and one's a police officer from the past. And so, Pistol Zerlock and Spam McCanister. Spam, I think, is the guy from the past. So he's a very Humphrey Bogart type character, and Pistol's a futuristic police officer. So it's been a lot of fun. But no, I have not. That's a long roundabout way about saying I have not written fan fiction, Audrey. But I will when I have an extra day or two. I'll fit it in. It'll be short things that I put in the mob for sure. Dolly says she's still waiting for a selfie of whoever bought it. I'm guessing she's referring to the skateboard deck. Mm-hmm. Um. Oh, let's see. Jenny wants to know if she can get away with an M&S poster. Are any of the prints as posters? Yeah. I know we could do that with the Night Warden covers. So see if we don't have them, we will. But I think the Night Warden covers all look like posters anyway, because that's Gene Malika, and they look amazing. So I mean, amazing when they're blown up. I mean, I can see the quality is so high that when I blew up the ones that I have, I could see the pores on the characters, on the models' faces, because it's just that good of that good quality. Oh, let's see. True, Craig. Everything an author writes is fan fiction for his own series. That in the strict sense of the writing, it is fan fiction, right? Because you're writing it for your readers. So yes, but I haven't written anything for an established series or anything like that, or established characters outside of my own. I have not done no. But yes, I like what Dolly. It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. Yes, for sure. Yeah, at least I did. We had those things we write like in 5 minutes. They're ridiculously fast. Like he'll write a line. It's like a back and forth. He'll write a line. I'll write a line. He'll write a line. I'll write a line. And so we just do that, and in 5 minutes, and then we end it, and it's quick. But they're hilarious and they're funny and they're really short. So if you haven't heard of Spam, McCanister, and Pistols or a lot, look it up. Oh, well, it's out there. It's on Facebook. Oh, let's see. What else have we got? We got like 10 minutes before we go into our Q&As. All right. If you have questions, this is the time to start asking them because I'm going to get into Audrey's questions in a little bit. She gives questions like every week. Audrey's awesome. So if you want to ask a question, this is the time to ask it. So let's see what else do we have. I think that's it in terms of the schedule. I have a bunch of awesome book covers coming up. Oh, and the character that you guys, the series spinoff that you saw for Black Orchid, that cover, that character appears in the next Monty and Strong story as a member of Black Orchid. So you get to find out what Black Orchid is in Dark Glass. And then you get to see a member of Black Orchid in Walking the Razor. So, yeah. So we'll see how that develops. But the actual her doesn't come until much later. But you get to see her. She'll make a cameo she won't even make a cameo in Dark Glass. You just heard about Black Orchid. She'll actually make a really major appearance in Walking the Razor, the next Monty and Strong book, Monty and Strong 12. Davina says the problem I always have with the M&S stuff is that here in the UK it's a shop, and I don't want people to think I work for them. Oh yeah, you work for Mark and Spencer. Tell them that Mark and Spencer really stands for Montague and Strong. I mean, come on, really. That's really what it means anyway. The real story behind Mark and Spencer is that Monty and Simon needed to have a legitimate storefront where they funnel, where Monty could funnel the hundreds of years of cash without it looking funny. And so he created M&S, Mark and Spencer for most people, but we, those of us in the know, really know that it stands for Monty and Strong. There you go. And so when anyone asks you, you just say it's the other M&S, and then that's it. Basically, solve that. Chris says mine will be 30 in September. She's gotten so good at it. Yeah, at the asking for forgiveness and permission. They all do. Trust me, 30. Ours is doing it at what age now? 9. 9. Kids are way too savvy now at 9. It's ridiculous. Okay, so Queen says, my son goes for neither. He's learned to just shrug and say, well, I've done it now. He's a rat bag gift face, but he's also cute, so he gets away with a lot. I like that. That's kind of just being very zen. It's like Ayrton just says, I've done it now, and so we must accept that this is the new reality. So you need to become more zen like him. So Craig's question is, what would you like to tell us about character development, interaction, creation? Wow, that's a really good question, Craig. Wow, that's okay. So character development, if you're a person who wants to start writing or creating characters, whether it's in the written form or in any other form, I would say the best way to develop a character is to put them in mundane situations. It's the advice I give every writer who's starting out, who struggles with their character development. Take the idea you have for a character, try to flesh the character out, and then try to put that character in a mundane situation. And this is an idea given to me by John Logsdon, by the way, where put the character doing laundry, going to the store, eating dinner at a restaurant, just really things that you would do in your daily life, and see how the character will react. What would the character say? What would the character do? And try to capture that. And if you can't do that, you still don't know the character well enough. Like I can take any of my characters and put them in any situation. I know exactly what they would say, do, how they would act, what their reactions would be. It would be automatic. It would just happen. As for interaction, there's always got to be some push and pull between characters, some kind of tension. And so, for example, like with my main characters, Simon and Monty, they have tension on so many different levels, and that was from the beginning. So even something as simple as Simon is Star Wars, Monty is Star Trek, Simon is American, Monty is English, things like that. And so have different levels of interaction and tension, like Simon will be coffee, Monty is tea. And so they really kind of encapsulate the Odd Couple. If for those of you who are a little older like me and remember Jack Klugman and the Odd Couple was an old TV show where you had a slob and someone who was basically OCD neat living together. And so that's not Simon and Monty in that sense, but it is very much, they're very much opposites in many regards, and yet they find a way to get it together. So that interaction, you have to base it on that kind of tension. Me at least, my characters have to have that kind of tension. If they agree on everything, that reads as boring. And so they have to disagree, and they have to butt heads, and they have to have different points of view, and they have to have principles that they stand for. So that's and creation. Wow, the creation part is hard because I usually work it backwards. I have the creation first, then the development, then the interaction. So the creation is basically being open to the story first and what the require. So like even for the most recent one that I put in the mob, I wanted to go noir. So I was telling you guys I was starting to read noir stories and so I said, I need a character for a noir story. So the creation actually started from what kind of story I wanted to do. And then once I had the kind of idea of the story, then I said, okay, now what do I need for the story? What kind of character do I need for the story? So Richard Caro, which is the main character, also has Simon, which is his anchor. And he's a dream walker. And so then it goes from there. Why is he a dream walker? What is a dream walker? and fleshing all that out. And then, okay, how is this character? How does he speak? You know, is he snarky like Simon? Is he a little bit more straight-laced like Monty? Is he somewhere in between? And what's the interaction with Siren? And so forth like that. So you got to see a little bit of that with the first chapter that I gave you. And so that's basically how I do it. It's not, it takes a while, and it took me a while to learn that, but that's basically how I do it, correct? So I can't say that's the way to do it. I can say that's the way I do it. All right, let's see. What questions? Let's see. Live streaming on my time is going to make you pain in my back. Sorry, Mary Dot. Yeah, live streaming can be tough sometimes. Stacy says kids become teens at 10. Yeah, or 9, because that's what we have in our house, a 9-year-old teen. Yeah, and she's really tech savvy, like scary tech savvy. Yeah, like sometimes, so the door's closed, right? So sometimes I'll just share this with you guys. So what I'm telling Dolly is that we have to prep her for the CIA, basically, because she has all the skills to be a spy. That's all I have to say. She's got the computer skills. She's got the smile, the charm, the intelligence. It's incredible. So I'm saying, oh, so basically what she's going to be really good at is just being a spy. So I'm just saying we should just groom her for the CIA and call it a day. So we'll see. Oh, on YouTube, I'll say hi to MKD Karate and Brian Bitten. Hello, MKD Karate and Brian Bitten. They're watching over there and can't see this chat. So you guys can't see the chat, but say hello to all of you over there. Awesome. Let's see. In theory of selective application, concept 2 is personal use. Okay. I kind of missed part of the conversation. I apologize. MKD Karate is you, by the way. Hello, MKD Karate. Okay, vinegar and oil. Right. Exactly, Jenny. So they may not mix, at least, but when you shake them, they make great dressing. That's basically what vinegar and oil is, and that's basically what Monty and Simon are the kind of the epitome of that. It's like oil and water. They don't really mix. You can get them together, and they'll get together, but eventually they have to kind of separate, and that's basically what Monty and Simon are. Oh, you're welcome, Stacy. I have that Odd Couple song in my head regularly when I'm writing Monty and Simon. So yeah, it was one of the tribe, Chris. You're right. You've been reading too much John Logsdon, Dolly, with that phrasing comment. A female bond. Yeah, let's see. The Black Orchid or Zephyr is Siren is. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it. But Siren is going to be an interesting story for sure. Zephyr, I'm sorry, not Simon. Simon is going to be an interesting story. Zephyr, why am I saying Simon? Zephyr is going to be an interesting story, and Siren is going to be an interesting character. Yes, because I keep having Simon in my head. All right, so let me answer some questions. Oh, no, I still have time before the question session. Awesome. Any other question, guys? Thank you, Craig. That was a great question. Definitely Dragon approved. So, but I say hi to Brian Batten because he's not you, Dolly. So,
How do you have 14 minutes left?
I created time. Yes. Well, have you not read my book? Dolly asked me how do I have 14 minutes left? Because I create time. Clearly, she hasn't read the books where I can mess with time. This is what happens when you write about it long enough. You can start messing with time. Yeah, Chris says John is bringing Dolly to the dark side. It's also the fact that I wrote 3 of the Badlands books, so I think that kind of rubbed off on her a little bit, the phrasing. Although, so I don't know if I can tell you guys this. The 4th book, I think, in Team Ash or Team Dan, Dragon's Mire, so it's coming soon. That one's John's writing solo, and the 5th book is writing solo, so that's going to be awesome. Do I have a 20-sided die? Of course, because what kind of question? Yes, I have a 20-sided die. There was a Dungeons & Dragons die. Can you bring the box over here? Dolly says she's been on the dark side always. Just our folks don't know it. Oh, I have 20-sided die in here. See? So yes, I do, Chris. 100-sided. No, I don't have 100-sided die. I think I've seen that once in my lifetime. 100-sided die. Malcolm, you don't know how true that is because well, there's only 3. I don't want to say like it's a multitude, but the books for the Badlands were written in between all my other books, so they were never officially on the schedule. So it was like, you gotta shove this to one side, shove this to one side, write the book in this little space here, and then, so that's why I'm not writing any more Badlands, because my schedule's just way too packed. Yes, so Chris says Team Dan has it now. I know it's going to be awesome because I know what the story is before you guys do, because I consult with John. So it's going to be fantastic. I know it's going to be great. So, oh, Chris wants to do the contest shirt giveaway. All right, let me take out my 20-sided die. I have my 20-sided. These are actually metal. Let me see if I can show them to you. They're pretty awesome. And so, solid, not plastic like when I was growing up. These are actually awesome metal die. All right, so we're doing 1 to 20, right? Well, obviously 1 to 20. So do you have the numbers? Because I don't know who's. I'm just gonna roll, Chris. So give me some instruction here on this. On this one. Am I just rolling a number and then we just pick whoever that number is from 1 to 16 or 1 to 20? A long time. Jeez. Craig says, "Woo! I won." Well, I haven't even rolled yet. Yes, these are very fancy because I'm trying to get the family into Dungeons and Dragons, and I haven't been able to like really get in. But my son has his handbook at this point, so let me know when I'm rolling. Yeah, the D10s are nice. I have a D10. Even the box. You see the box? The box is like awesome. Look, you guys see that? It's pretty awesome. So the D10s, if I'm not mistaken, this is the D10. The D10 looks awesome. Yeah, they're all in there, so they're pretty fantastic looking. Okay, so a listener who's watching, who has the list? Do you have the list? Because I don't have the list. Do you have a list? Oh, that's a great question, Mary Dot. Okay, as you guys get the list together, and as I rub the scruff of my itchy face, Mary Dot asks, when you get up from the computer, are you able to leave the characters and story world behind, or do they color your interactions with those around you? Sometimes I can't sleep, not that I sleep much anyway, because I'm still dealing with, like, once I'm finished writing for the day, sometimes I'm still dealing with story issues in my head. So I get up from the computer, I'm done writing, I hit my quota for the day, but in my head, I'm still dealing with story issues. So it's yes and no. It's almost like a running commentary in the back of my head a lot of times, where I'll have issues that I'm trying, like thorny problems that I'm trying to unravel, which is why I'll jump into something like Destiny or another kind of game where I can from that game. But in the back of my head or in the back of my brain, the story is being unraveled. And there'll be times I'm talking to Dolly and I'm kind of checked out a bit. Not often, but sometimes. And it's really what I'm working on is I got a problem in my head, a story problem in my head, and I'm trying to kind of have it resolved. So most of the time I can get up and walk away and I'm done with it. and I don't have to. I'm not bringing the characters with me, but a lot of times they're there in the background. So I'll just, I kind of get to the brain department to just kind of work on that and bring me a solution when you're ready. So that's my. Hopefully that answers your question. But I think because the stories are so much a part of me that they do kind of blur some of the interactions in my life for sure. Yeah. Night Warden die. What do you mean that wasn't a 10-sided die? Oh, I got the wrong one. Is this the one 10-sided die? Has so many cool die here. I think this might be the 10-sided die. Craig? Or this is not a 10-sided die, is it? I have several. So I think this is the 10-sided die. It would be an easy way to tell from 1 to 0. So yes, you're right, Craig. That was a 12-sided die. This is the 10-sided die. They are pretty snazzy though. And this is the 12-sided die. Yes, it's a dodecahedron. Yeah, cool. Or it's a decahedron, not a dodecahedron. This would be a dodecahedron, which is a 20-sided die. All right, so what am I rolling for, Chris? What's the number? Am I just rolling and then you have the list? Who has the list? What's going on? Oh, the list is coming. All right, 17 people. D12 plus 6 minus 1. I can do that. I have a D12 and a plus 6 minus 1. Let me know, and I shall. I'm about to. All right, so Audrey's asking questions. Let me get to Audrey's questions that she asked prior to the event. So the first one is, what was your favorite TV show growing up? Well, I had quite a few. I didn't get that much TV because I spent a lot of time outside, which a lot of kids these days can't say. But I would have to say I watched Star Trek when I was really young, and it would come on weekly. That's how old I am. So I would watch Star Trek. That's really, really young. As I was older, a lot of cartoons, because, that's my generation, a lot of Bugs Bunny. When I got older, I would have to say, wow, I pretty much watched a little bit of everything. You name it, I've watched it. Because my generation spans so many years of TV. So I got to watch you name the genre, I've watched it. Westerns, cowboys, police shows, sci-fi, mysteries. I mean, I remember watching Columbo growing up. That's how long ago. So I've watched a lot of, I don't want to say I watched a lot of TV, but I've watched a lot of broad genre TV. So I can't really have a favorite. If I had to have like the space show, Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, the original one, Space 1999, that many people don't remember. So I would have to say the space shows because they had the best effects and the coolest things were happening on the space shows. So yeah, Lost in Space, that was pretty good. So yeah, Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, Chiller Theater, those kind of things. Let's see. Audrey says, have you? Let me read the next one, Audrey, then I'll get to this one. What was the last book you read just for fun? Peace Talks. That's what I'm reading now. But what I read for fun is not really considered fun for most people. Like I'm reading Great Stories Don't Tell Themselves by Larry Brooks. It's a writing book, and it's basically, because I'm always learning as a writer, it's basically structure, how to write, how stories work, why do good stories follow kind of a certain pattern or formula. So Larry Brooks is very well known for those kind of books. So there you go. So the last book that I read for fun, actually the story that I read for fun was Hunted, which is a short story by Steve McHugh, and he tells Remy's. It's a Remy story. If you know Steve McHugh in the Hellquinn Chronicles, you'll know who Remy is. And Hunted was a short story that Steve McHugh wrote. And I have all of Steve's books. I hadn't read that one. And I still haven't read the Avalon books or the later Nate stories. I have them, I just haven't read them. But I read Hunted because it was a short story. So that was the latest book. And I'm about to start Peace Talks. So I'll get to that eventually. If a holiday, this is another question because Audrey asked, how would it be celebrated? Family getting together, lots of coffee, lots of books, really, and good food because Dolly likes good food. So lots of good food, all different kinds of food. So not no specific food, like an international food gathering. So a lot of food from a lot of different places, a lot of people from a lot of different places, because my readers are from everywhere, and a lot of coffee or tea if you like tea, but mostly coffee, and family. And family, when I say family, remember, I don't just mean blood relations. I mean the people that you've chosen to be your family too. So that's how my holiday was celebrated, the holiday. And I'd call it Peaches Day because, of course. So let's see what else I got. Yeah, I've got 17 in the group right now. All right, so let's read the other question that Audrey had. Have you ever called a family member by one of your characters' names instead of saying it? No, not yet. Um, Here's my working theory. Every author is slowly losing their mind. And when they get old enough, the veil between reality they're currently in and their story world slowly starts to disappear. And so they won't know if they're in their story or if they're in reality, in this world. And eventually they'll start calling the people around them by the characters in their books. That's my theory. So eventually at some point I'll call Dolly Michigo or something like that. Eventually, I guess. We'll see. But no, I haven't ever called anyone in my life someone from the books. Cynthia can't be on the roll because she's the one sending the swag. So you guys figure it out. I'm just doing the role. Like, I did watch Ninja growing up too. I watched obviously the Batman. I watched the Green Hornet. Let's see, what else did I watch way back when? There's a lot of stuff. All the Saturday afternoon kung fu movies. Watch those. So much stuff. If you name it, I've watched it pretty much. You know, even the old stuff. Adam 12, Dragnet. Like I grew up watching a lot of because my dad used to watch a lot of varied TV. So okay, oh, there's a list. All right, here we go. That's not much of a list. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, so this just roll the 10-sided die, right? There's 10. All right, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9. Okay. We're like at the end of the show. At the end of our coffee clutch. All right, so I should roll. Yeah, Chris can't participate because he's a mod. Cynthia can't because she's the one sending it. So I'm going to roll the 10-sided die. Here we go. Wow, these are really heavy.
Okay, hold on before you roll it.
Okay, before I roll it.
So I can add numbers.
All right, we're going to add numbers to the names. Add numbers to the names and let me know. Can we add, Dolly, Chris wants to know, can we add anyone who's watching live now? Sure.
To the giveaway?
To the giveaway, yeah.
I can only see Byron Beth.
He can, Dolly can only see Byron. Anyone else you can see, Chris? I haven't finished Hunted, Audrey, so but Remy's a great character. Remy reminds me of Steve and I have very similar writing styles, so I like reading Steve McHugh. He's a lot of fun. Who else, Dolly would like to know, who else would like to be added to the giveaway? Please let her know now, if you're watching live. Or let Chris know so he can add you here, and then we can make one list and then roll a die and you will be chosen. Peaches Day, what date? Why don't we ask on the mob, Malcolm? That's because we should definitely have a Peaches Day. I think it'll be great. Harlan Ellison, yeah. My reading history is really amazing. Like, I was really fortunate growing up, being to read the books that I read, for sure. I reflect upon that now because I never limited in what I could read. And so a great post about the child in the library being able to access all books. And that was basically my life. I could read anything I really wanted to. My mom never had an issue with me reading. In fact, she encouraged more reading. So, okay, sound is low for Laura. Laura, increase the volume, Laura. Marita says, I not only wanted Star Trek as a young mother, as a child, I watched Stranger Than Fiction. Oh yeah, I remember Stranger Than Fiction. Wow, I'm really old, geez. And the Loretta Young Show. I up with Lawrence Welk, Mary Dot, if you remember that. Red Skelton. I watched Red Skelton, and I watched what's the other one? Jeez, was it Bob Hope? Bob Hope had a show. Bing Crosby had the Christmas specials. Yeah. Chris Caesar had a show. Mary Dot, we're close. I may not be quite that ancient, but I'm approximating it. Okay. Duo dodecahedron is a 12-sided. Awesome. See, I learn something new every day. Leanne wants to know, how do you decide which story to write first? And we're going a little over, but because we have the giveaway. So I hope if you can hang, please do. If you have to go, I understand, if you have to go. So, all right, so let's see. How do you decide which story first? Wow, that's a good question. It's always an alternate. So there's always a Monty and Strong story somewhere in the mix, Leanne. And then in addition to Monty and Strong, I'll write something else, which is why a lot of stories are delayed, because there always has to be a Monty and Strong or Monty and Strong related story. So it's the world, and so the stories are being written, even if it's not directly Monty and Strong. And so there's always one of those, and then there's either a short story or another longer story, a novella. I don't really write novels back to back unless I do like with the Badlands, which just really threw off my schedule a bit, which is why I don't do those kind of things. I don't do simultaneous novels. I did it once. I think I did Wander and a Gray story and a Monty and Strong story, and it nearly short-circuited my brain. So I don't do simultaneous novels. What I'll do is I'll do a novel and a short story, or a novel and a novella. Hopefully set in the same world, which makes it easier, but if not, then something radically different, like a Gideon Shepherd story. Whole different world, whole different story. It's a whole different way of seeing characters. But it's usually always a Monty and Strong world story, and then something else, Leanne. So that's how I decide. Because Monty and Strong is the engine that pushes everything. All the worlds is Monty and Strong world. The characters have started to have followings of their own, with the exception of Sepia, because Sepia came before Monty and Strong, and that's why she has been there for a while, but she's going to be done this year. And I have to get back to Ava James, because that's also before Monty and Strong, and John Kane, which is also before Monty and Strong. So yeah, so those three storylines it's going to take longer because it's not a Monty and Strong world. Okay, so of course now the idea of wrong names is in your brain. Yeah, but it won't happen. Oh, Mystery Science Theater 3000. I haven't seen that in forever, but yes, I grew up watching that too. So that was excellent. Get your bad phones, Laura. Awesome. Add Brian from YouTube. Okay. Add Stacy, I think. Add Darren. Audrey. Leanne. Is that what we're saying me for? I hope it's just that they're asking for me.
Hey, you have 100. Do you have a more than 20
No, but we can roll a 20-sided die more than once. Or we can roll 20, 12, 6, 4. I think this is 10, 10. No, this is 8. What do you need, like 200? 40, 50, 60, 1,000? I can roll them all at once. I'll just roll a 20-sided more than once.
Can we do a little bit, a tiny video after this one?
Sure. Yeah. We're going to do a shorter video. Today's like a special treat. We're going to do a short the contest winners. All right, Mary's here, so yeah. No matter what country, I don't think it matters what country it is. You have to ask Cynthia, because this is Cynthia sending the swag. I'm just rolling the die. So I don't think the country matters. Alicia, that is awesome. So Alicia used Remy's cursing when she was in the hospital for a surgery, because you're classy like that. So am I. I'm sure the nurses were impressed. Remy, Steve is like amazing with Remy. Out of all the characters that Steve McHugh has created, Remy has to be by far one of the best. I really enjoy Nate. I call that Nate the other Nate. So yeah. Says my mom took me to the library once a week. Come home with a stack of books. Dolly does the same thing with the kids when we used to go to the library, which was March. She'd go, she'd take a stack of books, come back, the kids would read it, go back, the same thing back and forth. Craig has given me all the names for the die. So
okay, we're gonna do a random number generator.
Ooh.
And I'll take a picture and post it.
Cool. Awesome. So Dolly, we're not doing die, we're just gonna do RNG.
We have 1 to 21. We can do 1 to 20, and a second one because that will exclude
somebody. Yeah.
All
right, so it's 1 to 21. Awesome. So we're gonna do an RNG. Those of you who know RNG, random number generator, and then it's 1 to 21. So, Andy Williams had a show, and I used to watch the other show that he had with Ron Howard. Oh my God, how can I forget that? I guess it was the Andy Williams show when he was a sheriff. So, when I'm nuts, I used to watch that. Grew up watching that. Happy Days, obviously. Jenny, I know, yeah, my mom was a university professor for math, but she was really big on reading, Jenny. So just like you, where you were in the middle of nowhere reading, I wasn't in the middle of nowhere, but it wasn't like, oh, you have downtime, go watch TV. It was like, oh, you have downtime, a book. So, yeah. His brothers, Carol Burnett, Stacy. I used to love Carol Burnett. Jeez. Okay, so we have, whoa, the list grew. Okay. Dolly just put the list up in chat. So if you really want to get the swag, put your name, make sure you're on that. Davina wants to know, does it matter? Put Davina on the list because she's not there. Oh, she is there. She's number 13. You're there. Number 13. Audrey. Please call her Audrey. What did we call her?
What did I do?
I don't know. I don't even see Audrey on the list.
She is.
Oh, is she? Where?
Number 19.
Number 19. Oh, let's only go to number 17. You're number 19. Gotcha.
No,
the latest one. It gets real time. Marie Valdez?
Yes.
Okay. This is getting long. Malcolm. Followers of their own. And Davina, stop stalking Chi. There you go. Cynthia says, country does not matter. She will send them anywhere. Chris says, roll them all till you get a good number. Chris is going to use the number generator and then send up the results. So it'll be easier that way. Because that's going to be more than 20-sided. So. Our first simulcast. How's it going to the world? We're simulcasting to the world right now. Hello, world. Jeffrey, you are here and you made it because we have run over. So you are welcome, Jeffrey. How are you? Hello, Mark. Good afternoon. The Andy Griffith Show. Yes, in Mayberry. That is exactly it, Linda and Chris. The Andy Griffith Show. I used to watch that too. Right. Yeah, Davina has, yeah, I'll use a number generator. So, screeching in late, but you made it, Mark. Excellent. Welcome. Laughing. I used to watch Laughing too. Wow. Jeez. That was many stars got their start on Laughing, a groundbreaking show. Battlestar Galactica, Leanne was fantastic. Yeah, I had a Cylon Raider, and model from Galactica. It was awesome. It was the toys were back then. The toys were incredible. I don't know about now because the toys now seem a little iffy, but back then the toys were solid. They were made really well. Let's see. Yes, Mark, you just have to be added to the list. Mark wants to be included in the list. Mark Mullinex.
Okay, I will post the list and please reread all the names.
Okay, we're gonna reread the names. Ali's gonna put the list, and the names is gonna be the last list. So this is the cutoff. If you're not on it, you're not on it. Huh?
Have been admitted.
Oh, okay. Dahlia said you can add. She's so nice. I would just be like, that's it. Can't be added. Eric asking what language you're speaking. Tell him it's American, not English. American. All right. Is this the latest list?
It should be 22 people.
Let's see. 22 people. Yes. Okay. The latest list is Jasmine, Breeden, Susan, last name, Marsha, Lynn, Stacy, Malcolm, Carrie, Luann, Ann, Hing, Byron, Darren, Jenny, Davina, Linda, Laura, Mary Dot, Diane, Audrey, Marie, Leanne, and Mark. So if you want to be in that list and you just use your name, put your name now. Yes, Dirk Benedict and Lauren Green. Yes. A-Team. Dirk Benedict reminds me of A-Team also because he was on both shows. How else would you pronounce your name, Mark? Leanne has no Peggy in her name. I don't know. Oh, it's just Leanne Benson. Where did Peggy come from? I have no idea, Leanne. Don't reveal your tricks, Dolly. And I write American too. Yes, I do know how to write English. I had a hard time because when I was for the first 4 years of my schooling, I went to Catholic school. So they were teaching me how to write color, like with a U, or I was writing English, not American. And well, they would when I would write certain things, it would be marked incorrect. So I do know how to write English, but now I write American for sure. So to answer your question, Malcolm, yes, I do write American now. That's intentional, actually. So all of you across the pond, my apologies, but I do write English. I write American, not English. Chris, I totally agree. Starbuck was the coolest art ever in Battlestar Galactica, for sure. I can't see how you would mispronounce your name, Mark. It's just, it's pretty straightforward. Well, what I would be interested in knowing is what is the history of that name, because it doesn't sound English, Mullinex. At least that's in my ears. Maybe it's a common English name. But what's the history of that? Because, yeah, it's definitely not something I've heard. Well, don't just let him know that you know someone in America. Tell him he knows someone in America too. Because, hey, I'm waiting to read his book, Ayrton. Ayrton, I'm waiting to read your first book. Get writing. Malcolm gets mangled? Really, Malcolm? Wow. See, I have a hard time imagining that because for me it's so straightforward, like Malcolm or Mullinex, or it just See, I can see Craig's name getting mangled. Zimic. I could see that getting mangled for sure. All right, are we ready? What are we doing? Oh, we're finding the random number generator. And we're gonna do it. We're doing it on a separate device. It's all complicated now. We're doing it on a separate device so that we can show all of you. So that it can be fair and so we can have proof. Yes, I can see Zimmerman. For sure, I can see Zimmerman, Craig. For sure. Because it's just so easy to hear Zim and then immediately go to Zimmerman. Oh, Christine Chrisman is watching from work and wants in on the giveaway. That's Chris's namesake. Did you add Christine? Christine Chrisman.
Oh, no.
She wants in on the giveaway. So. Malcolm. Wow. That's interesting, Malcolm. That's interesting. Yeah, Audrey. Okay, but see now those kind of names like Shoban or that's gonna be tough. Yeah, that's gonna be tough. Siobhan. That's hard. Mine is really easy because there's a bunch of O's. Orlando. I mean, it's so easy. I can't see people mangling it. I've never heard anyone mess up my name. Not really. No. Let's see. Yes, you've created a monster. It's okay. We deal with monsters here in the mob. Yeah, it sounds French, Mark, for sure. Siobhan, yeah, that is the way it sounds. Who's that? Oh, Jenny. Yes, Jenny. Siobhan. Siobhan. That's not how it's spelled, though. None of those names are pronounced the way they spelled. Okay. I think we have another updated. Is this the most recent list updated? We're up to 23 now. Let's see. Bum, bum, bum. Yep. We're up to, well, you went from 33, but okay.
No, refresh.
We'll refresh it to 23. It's 23. Well, Darren, your name is easy to pronounce. Darren Musson is what I would say. If I wanted to be, fancy, I'd say Mousson, because it could be French too. We are running late. I need to get off. Okay, random generator. What's the number? Okay, this is the random number generator if you haven't seen it. Random number generator. What am I pressing? Generate. Okay. Number 18 is the result. Who's number 18? Diane Katzman. You are the winner. So Cynthia, Diane is the winner. Diane Katzman has won. Thank you all for participating. Oh, I think we should do that for the peaches.
I think we should do it
like that.
Often, like the coins.
And the coins and the peaches. Okay. We've been inspired. All right. So I have one of these to give away. When should we do it? The next mob? The next mob show? So the next mob show, which is on the 31st, we will be giving away one of these. I have one of these to give away. And we'll do it the same way, random number generator. So be here for that one, because that one's getting, those are hard to come by, trust me. So congrats, Diane. You want to contact Cynthia Snell? Yes, Diane. And she'll get you all your information and she'll ship it out. But she has to head out to the Pountress. And I got to get off too because we've gone a little bit over. It used to be 2 hours long. It's not that bad. But thank you all for participating, guys. Listen, please be safe. Stay safe during COVID. It's scary. I'm going to get back to our glass because it has to get done. If you have to go, please, please, please. It's important. Keep yourself safe. Keep your loved ones. The masks are just as much for you as people around you. So if you're in this country and the virus is really all over where you are, please wear them when you go out. Okay. If you can avoid going out, avoid going out. If you can't avoid, wear the mask, social distance. Okay. Yes, Chris, we're moving to the big time, which is giveaway. So I have one plus to give away. So we're gonna have our next mob on the 31st of July, same time, same back channel, and we'll do the same thing. And we'll announce that one because I know a few people are gonna want a Peaches plushie. So, and then we'll have to figure out a way for you guys to get it. But this one's just gonna be given away. So, have a great weekend, guys. Have some fun. Watch some shows. I'm gonna watch Old Guard again with Dolly, and also probably Princess Bride again with the kids and them again because I know every single line and I say it before they say it. So they're gonna be like, "Come on, why do you have to say the lines first?" I'm also gonna be doing some Ghost of Tsushima. This is in addition to all the writing. Some Ghost of Tsushima, and I think it was Tim who wanted to know if it was worthwhile. I can tell you just from the gameplay that I've watched, it's worthwhile. Trust me. And I'm going to, I guess, have some lunch now because I'm hungry. Jeez. Have a great weekend, guys. Enjoy